summer transfer window. Now, do you think Arsenal actually go all out to sign a player for that amount of money in January? I have my reservations about that. I know he's the kind of player we can get to push and see what we can do. Maybe win the league this season. It's an opportunity there for us to bring in an attacker. We know we're linked with Pedro Neto of Wolves before he got injured and couldn't get that deal done because Wolves were not willing to listen to our offers and they were not willing to sell. Now, Modric is that kind of player that can come in. I think can play. He predominantly plays on the left, but I think can do a good job on the right. But he likes to play where Martinelli plays. And for me, that makes sense. You can actually play Martinelli as a striker and put him there. So we don't overburn Jesus. So for me, instead of playing Nketiah, shout out to Nketiah. I like him, but I don't think he's a worthy number two striker. Martinelli can play on the wing and play as a central striker. If we have likes of Modric, which are actually playing on the wing and so there are reports all over the news since this morning. Even Fabio spoke briefly about it on his channel about the interest from Arsenal to Mykhaylo Mudryk. Fantastic player, very direct, dribbles very well, runs with the ball, very creative, scores goals. I watched a bit of him in the UEFA Champions League. Very good player, in my opinion. Defensively, I'm not sure what he does, but offensively, very explosive. Left foot dribbles, scores goals. Creative is a player that will suit Arsenal from watching him. I've not consistently watched 90 minutes and 90 minutes. I'm just watch YouTube clips like most of you, and I've watched a few of his matches, highlights in the UEFA Champions League here. He's been playing this season. Good player. So what I do not understand is the fact that the reports are very conflicting. We are hearing reports that Arsenal was actually firstly interested last season, but couldn't get it done because Arsenal felt it was too expensive to invest such a colossal amount of money into him, which is fair. But his performances this season has actually increased the money Shakhtar Donetsk are requesting for him to be sold for, which is fair. Now we are hearing that Arsenal actually interested. According to Fabrizio Romano, watching his video this morning, he said Arsenal are speaking to his agent, but no official bid has been offered. According to Fabrizio Romano, now there are other links. According to some other journalists, Arsenal have actually tabled 52 million 52 million pound bid for him. Those are very sketchy. There is no way for us to actually check the veracity of these reports because it's impossible at the moment. But the speculation is gathering momentum and pace. Most outlets are talking about it. It's been gathering pace for the last few weeks, even though since the summer transfer window. Now, do you think Arsenal actually go all out to sign a player for that amount of money in January? I have my reservations about that. I know he's the kind of player we can get to push and see what we can do. Maybe win the league this season. It's an opportunity there for us to bring in an attacker. We know we're linked with Pedro Neto of Wolves before he got injured and couldn't get that deal done because Wolves were not willing to listen to our offers and they were not willing to sell. Now, Modric is that kind of player that can come in. I think can play. He predominantly plays on the left, but I think can do a good job on the right. But he likes to play where Martinelli plays. And for me, that makes sense. You can actually play Martinelli as a striker and put him there. So we don't overburn Jesus. So for me, instead of playing Nketiah, shout out to Nketiah. I like him, but I don't think he's a worthy number two striker. Martinelli can play on the wing and play as a central striker. If we have likes of Modric, which are actually playing on the wing and play Martinelli and put Jesus on the bench sometimes, which makes sense. And we can actually see that even though I do not rate too much Reece Nelson, I saw clips of the match I played against. What did you play against yesterday on the Carabao Cup? We played against Brighton, and I saw a few clips of it. It was looking decent. At least for 6 months, I think Reece Nelson can do a job and share the load with Saka. But if you're going to bring Modric, he can play on the wing, he can deputize for Saka, but we know his favorite part of the pitch is to play from the left, cut in with his right foot, and score goals and create for the team, which is fantastic. Now, guys, let us be real. Do you think these links are actually real? Do you think Arsenal will actually cough out in excess of 60 million? Because we know Shakhtar Donetsk are asking in excess of 60 million pounds for this player. Do you think it's worth it? Number one, do you think Arsenal will do it? That is the $1 million question. For me, looking at the history of the Crown case, it's possible Arsenal might do it because we actually are coughed out 72 million pounds for a flop in Pepe. That's the fact. I'm not trying to deride him. Pepe has flopped and we coughed out 72 million pounds, even though it was instrumentally, but we actually are still coughed out that kind of money. So coughing out in excess of 60 million pounds for Mudryk, a young player, and we can see that he looks like a player that actually fit into our squad. It's a prototype of what Arteta and Edu and the club are looking for, young industrious players that can grow with the team, that actually can do the job in the present, can do it in midterm, and they can do it in the future. So he's that kind of player. I would love Arsenal to get him because I'm loving him, not because he can actually give us a lift, because he can actually make the likes of Martinelli play as a striker sometimes. So the load on Jesus being the sole striker can reduce, and we do not have to overly rely on Eddie Ketia, second striker. So I would love it. The links are getting very, very hot. The news of our links to Mykhaylo Mudryk are getting intensified. But do you think Arsenal will do it? I have my reservations that Arsenal will get this deal done because we do not have the antecedent or the history of actually coughing out that kind of money in the January transfer window. Now in the summer it's a different ball game, but in the January transfer window, and we still need to bring in a midfielder. I don't see. It's not impossible. It's not impossible, but is it probable? Is it probable, guys? Let's discuss it. Is it probable that Arsenal will cough out in excess of 60 million pounds for Mudryk? Do you think it's feasible? Do you think the Kroenkes will actually sign off that check? Do you think Edu and Arteta can persuade the Kroenkes to actually spend that kind of money on a young attacking prospect that can actually do it right now, that can push us to win the league? Do you think the Kroenkes will do it? Let me know in the comment section. Like I said, I have my reservations. I think it's possible. If the Kroenkes believe Arteta's vision, and Arteta sells it to them very well, I think they can actually sign off that check. I'm not saying for sure they're going to do it, but I think it's doable. Guys, let me know in the comment section. Do you think Arsenal will go out for Modric, or you think Arsenal will go for a cheaper option rather? For either than get Modric, they'll go for a cheaper option. Let me know in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Stick a like on the video for jogging, very important. And turn on your notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one.